Back again. Obviously, you've all probably disappeared by now, so sorry about that. Something weird's happened. So I seem to hit a loss of internet, and it has been a bit dodgy since about 5 o'clock. But then it's taken all this time to actually get to authenticate with Twitch again, through OBS and through my Twitch dashboard. So very, very strange stuff. Okay, so I'll try and continue from where we left off. So let's go back over to where we're coding. So we were over in Tiled, which is this level editor, and what I've done is set up a longish thin level. Okay. What we want to do now is to bring in a tile set. So I've been playing with some tiles here. We're not going to use these. So what I want to do is bring a new tile set in there. So let's get rid of this tile set. How can I get rid of it? New tile set. Based on a tile set image, this is going to be, we'll call it tile set platformer. Okay, source image is going to be okay. But what we need to bring in here is our yeah. So I need to go and get the tiles. So this is the tile set that's over in my game. Let's go and find that. Dev, platformer, assets, images, tiles. That one there. Okay, 16 by 16. Margin, no, that's fine. So so we'll save that as platformer.tsx. Okay, that's our tile set. Okay, so there's our tiles that we got to play with. Okay, so now we've got so we can't jump very high in our world, so we've got to be a bit careful what we set up here. So we want to select the stamp option here. So what do you want us to do? A tile set up in a tab. You'll now be able to select the tile and paint with it. Okay. So that's kind of, we can paint a line here. And we can then paint like a surface. Let's try that again. That's a simple surface. And then what we could do, we could have an obstacle there. Let's kind of vary this vegetation. Yeah, just variation in here. Okay, so that's an obstacle to jump over. And then what we could possibly have, this is a platform, isn't it? So we could have the ability perhaps to jump onto a platform there, as well as come along here, and then perhaps we'll have a raised area like that. What else could we have? We could have some more platforms going up, couldn't we? So we could have the possibility of jumping up there. I don't know what kind of obstacles we normally have on these. Let's have an obstacle there. Let's have a cliff. So can we delete these? If I press the delete key, do we delete them? No. Eraser. Let's erase. Let's have a cliff there, and what we'll do is we'll just have a bit of a step there. Oops. We'll have some kind of level exit over there, and then maybe there's a big jump to get onto this platform here. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have it so it's a bit more dangerous. Maybe something along those lines. No, perhaps not. Let's make that a small, narrow platform. Maybe you can jump up there and down there, but if you miss, you'll fall down here. In which case, what we should do is have that. From here, you could try and jump up there, but that's too far and you'll probably fall. Yeah, that'll be okay, won't it? It's just as a simple little level. And then we're going to have some other characters in there. So a simple environment to play around with, so that's fine. We got a way of falling off the map and being killed, and we've got a way of running off the edge of the map here, and that would be some kind of exit, I think. So, chat, is there anyone out there? I think might have two people out there. Is everything back to normal? If I go again, I'll just give up for the evening, but I'll try and keep going for a bit longer. And I was kind of worried that something might happen on these lines. So this is a layer. So we're going to rename this layer. Can we rename the layer? Layer properties. Try layer 1. Will we rename you? Save that. We need to rename our layer. How do we rename the layer? So I want to call it main. It's our main layer. So we can make it invisible like that, you see. Remove layers. Show, hide, unlock layer properties. New layer. Duplicate. Remove layer. Highlight current layer. Oh, there we have. Here it is. So we can call this main. This is our main layer. Okay, fine. We'll lock that layer off because that's going to be finished. Save that. Let's create a new layer. This is going to be another tile layer. This is going to be called background. Okay, and we want to move that down. That's underneath this layer here. Okay, and we can hide the main layer. So let's start off just by painting the whole thing blue. This is going to be a little simple background to our level. We can make it as complicated as we want. We've actually purchased some tile sets which I can use to add trees and stones and all kinds of things to these backgrounds, but we just want to keep it fairly simple from now on. For now, colour the whole thing in blue to start with. And then we'll have, I don't know, what should we have then? Let's have shape like that. Oops, not what I wanted. Oh, I don't know. Should we just make it blue? We'll just make it blue for now, and I'll figure some artistic kind of shapes to go in the background. So we bring our top layer on. We've got a nice blue colour. So oh no, I know what we'll have some light colours in there as well. So let's close that eye, and then we'll have it dark at the top. So then we'll have like a band like that. If I could draw straight, a band like that, and then we can have our light colour in the middle. I'll just tidy that up in a bit. There we go. Retro C, I see you there. Thank you for staying. It was rather weird what happened there. I seemed to lose internet, but it wasn't really internet. It was mainly the fact once I got the internet back, it seemed to be problems authenticating with Twitch. I'm not quite sure what exactly went on there. Let's just have some colour variation in there. I don't quite like that dark colour. Let's get back to the ordinary blue there. That'll do fine. Okay, let's save that. Okay, so now we need to kind of load this level into our system, don't we? Virgin Media, yes, I'm on Virgin Media, and that's the problem. I think we've had reports locally that Virgin Media has been having issues in our area. We're on a local kind of news group, and someone just around the corner earlier on mentioned they had an issue. And I lost internet about 5 o'clock momentarily. But I was kind of hoping we'd be okay, but clearly not. Okay, so that's our stupid little level. It's something to for our character to run around in. We can put some enemies and coins and power-ups in that just to test that kind of stuff out. Okay. So let's just minimize that for a second and go back to Visual Studio Code. So what I need to do is bring up this. Go to the platform game. Code dot in there. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make sure we've got our Flixel add-ons enabled. So let's go and have a look in here. So what's it saying? We need to look in here. So Flixel add-ons needs to be enabled. This is going to give us our tile map handling functions, the add-ons. So uncomment that, the Flixel add-ons, and save. That'll bring that library, so that HaxeLib library will be brought in to our project. Okay. So now we're going to create a level loader utility method, well, class. So let's create level loader, a new file, level loader.hx. Okay, and we're going to create a static class in here. So let's give a bit of space for some of our imports we're going to have. National issue, is it, Retro? Right, okay. Yeah, well, it's hardly surprising, to be honest. It's been pretty good, considering we've had all the people working from home. We've had, pardon me, few issues, so it's very good. But it's a bit of a shame it's when I'm streaming. It's a public static function. Public static. Public static function. This is going to be load level, and it's going to take some state, which is going to be play state, and it's going to take a level, which is a string. Okay, so let's get all the all the imports sorted out before we start. Or shall we? Should we just, what we'll do is we'll see if it brings them in for us. It might do. Okay. So now we're going to have a tiled map. And this is going to be a new tiled map. Let's see if we save that, if we get the code actions. So I think we need class, don't we? Okay, so I'm going to have to go and look at this the original source code. I'm trying to write this on the fly, but it's not my tutorial's a bit remiss here. It hasn't really told me how to set up this level loader. So let's go and quickly look at what it's supposed to look like. So excuse me a second while I dive off. Right, I'm just going to find this particular class. Okay, so it's just class level loader. And I want to put the word package at the top here. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now we can continue. So yeah, so we're just creating a quick class here, level loader. It's going to have a static function load level. And this is going to have a tiled map. I'm quite surprised it knows about tiled maps. I don't think it should do. I think that's a bit of a problem. So let's add some of these imports in. So we're going to import pixel, add-ons, editors, tiled map. There we go. So that's that type there, that tiled map type. The tiled map is going to take the location where the TMX file is that we just created. So that's going to be in assets, data, plus level plus .tmx. So we're going to pass basically the name of the level we want to load, which would be level 1 in this case. Here's our data. We've got a file called level 1. Pass that in, and we'll load it from there. So this is this base 64 uncompressed data that's in there, and that basically is defining which tiles out of our tile set that we're kind of building up the level from. Very much the same as we did here with the in play state with this, except we're now replacing it with something we've drawn with the tiled editor. So we can get rid of this in a second. Okay, level loader back in here. Okay, so we need to pull out the layers. So we created 2 layers, if you remember. We created a main layer and a background layer. We need to pull those layers out. So we want, once again, we're going to get the tiled layer. One of those. So for main layer, it's going to be, and that's of type tiled layer, tile layer, and that is going to be we're going to cast. So this is interesting. Tiled map .get layer main. So what that's going to do, this cast here, and I've misspelt it. This is unusual piece of syntax. To my mind, it looks a bit weird. What we're saying here is we're going to cast whatever comes back from here into a tiled layer, which is the type of this variable main layer. Which which is interesting. Okay. Then we can add that to the state. State.add. State.map, sorry. So we've got this over on play state here, we've got map as a variable. So we're going to set that to a new tile map. Tile map. So we need to bring that type in, don't we? So that's that one there. Okay, we'll just follow this through a second. We've added that to there, so we're going to say state.map.load map from array main layer dot tile array. Get the tile array out there. What else goes in there? So we've got the tile array. The width, that's tiled map dot full width. No, just width. Then the height, tiled map dot height. That's cool. We're getting all that information out of the data file we've created. Then we want the asset path. We want the tiles, which is tiles.png. The size of each tile, which is 16 by 16 pixels. And finally, what do we want from there then? Starting index. Is starting index 1 apparently. Okay, we'll accept that. We'll look at that in a minute. Okay. We've loaded that. And then we state.add state.map. Add our map in there. Okay, well let's make some space in there because we also need to go and bring back the background, don't we? So to say var backmap is going to be a new tiled map. Flix tile map. Okay, so let's start this bit here, and then we're going to say backmap load map from array. So we want the back layer now. So we need to bring in the back layer. So we're going to say var back layer, which is of type tiled tile layer. I like the fact that you've got these quite good integration between the editor and our tool. So obviously the Flex add-ons recognise tiled as being a good editor for us to use, so that's good. So this is going to be, now we're going to equal, we're going to cast once again. This time we're going to cast it into tiled map dot get layer. This is going to be background now. And you can imagine we could have quite a few layers, so we could actually build up quite good effects and parallax effects apparently. So there's that background layer. I'm going to load that from the array. This is going to be back layer, tile array. Sorry, not there. Here. Back layer dot tile array. And then we're going to have once again tiled map dot width, tiled map height, and then we're going to have what's next, the asset path, tiles.png, 16, 16, 1. And then we're going to say that backmap dot solid equals false. Which means we can't collide with the background, which is just as well. And now, as well as that, we're going to state dot state dot add backmap okay. Right, so what we can do is go back to our play state now. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. We got our player. Now we do level loader. Oops. Right, can we bring that in okay? No, we can't. Level loader. Maybe just import level loader. No. Right, I'm going to check that out again. Unfortunately, it's not obvious what goes on there. We should be able to just do level loader, load level. Level 1. It's not happy about that there for some reason. I don't think we need brackets there. This is private field, so play state here. Is that a public? These need to be public, don't they? Yeah. And this needs to be state. So in here, level loader, we need to pass in the current instance. Okay, so this here. So we need some arguments for player. So what's the best arguments to put in? So I'm not really sure. So we'll try what we had before, 64 and 16, and we'll just see what happens. Okay, so let's try running it and see what happens here. It'd be interesting to see. So it says pixel tile map cannot be called the level loader. That's got to be new, isn't it? What's wrong with that? So, have we crashed? What's happened there? This it doesn't like level loader, does it? It's complaining about fluxal tile map there. So what does my tutorial actually say? New fluxal tile map. Don't honestly see anything wrong with that. Try again. And we are just stopping at 61% for some reason. That's disappointing, isn't it? So, what's going on there? Let's take the stream manager across there. Okay. Let's go through the code. So, level loader. Let's have a look at level loader. So assets, that's supposed to be assets, so that wouldn't help. So it probably got stuck trying to load our map, didn't it? So save that point. So that's that. Let's try it now. Okay. bring that across. For some reason it wants to start over here now. We seem to have fallen off the face of the earth. Okay. That character just plummeted past there. He's probably actually sitting on a surface, I should imagine. So let's have a look. So what does it say in my... Okay. Add players, create. So the problem is the camera. The camera's in the wrong place. So we need to do some work with the camera. So let's run it again and we'll see the camera's pointing completely the wrong place. Sorry, we seem to be platforms seem to be appearing on the wrong side of the screen now. So let's because I actually switched off my. If we start, we're pointing at the top corner here, and our camera really needs to follow the player. The player's plummeted down here; it needs to follow around the player. So we need to do some work with the camera. Okay, fair enough. Let's have a look at that. Okay. So we need to go to our play state, and actually after we've added the player we need to set up our camera. So this is the camera is all part of the globals. So flex G camera. And we want to follow our player, so follow, and who's it going to follow? It's going to follow the player. That's the flux object it's going to follow. And what kind of camera is it going to be? So camera follow style. Okay, so flux camera follow style dot platformer. Okay, so that's good. And then we're going to do flux dot camera G camera set scroll bounds rectangle, and we're going to go 0, 0, map dot width, map dot height. So that's the bounding box that the camera has to stay within. The top left hand corner right down to the bottom right hand corner. Okay. Save that. And let's run it again. I think it's going to appear off screen again, so I do apologise about that. Let's bring it over. So we did, it was okay, it worked then. Unfortunately though, the player actually plummeted off the edge here, so as if our collision's not working. So let's go and sort out the collision. Stream manager can go there. Having some trouble with my I can start a new Microsoft Edge here. Hopefully it will appear in there. Okay. So let's go and look at our play state. So I think we want to say collide map player, so we should be colliding with the map. Interesting. Why aren't we colliding with the map? The main here, we actually fell through the floor. I'm not quite sure why that would be. I'll load up. So the back map is set to solid as being false. Whether collides or not, more control which direction. I wonder what the default of that is. Check whether object collides or not. For more control what direction the object collides from, use collision constants like left, etc. And that is a back map. It's a flux, so state.map. Let's see what we can do. So state map dot solid true. Okay, well, let's try that. Hopefully now our game will appear in the right place. So we've fallen straight through, which is weird. Okay. Why would that be? We've got our collision set up, haven't we? Going to be something very simple. That's our player. Our play state. We've got our player, which is a sprite, and player and map are colliding with a set map. Wonder why that would be. Level loader. Pass the state in. Solid map. Whether the object collides or not. Getting the right level. We need to add map as well. I'm not sure. Let's try it. No, it's still falling straight through the floor. Okay. Well. So we shouldn't have to add the map. Like that. I wonder if we can put a breakpoint in there and see. Okay, well, let's give it a go. I'm not sure how the breakpoints exactly are going to work. No, the breakpoints aren't working. Why are we falling through the floor? Let's check load level. Okay, so load level, we've got a tiled map. Which we read from the TMX file. We extract the main layer. Set up a new tile map, flux tile map. Load from the array. Like that. Just space these out so we can read them properly. Okay. Let's put them back anyway. That is solid, so it says it should collide. Add the map to the state. Like that. Then we get the back layer. But we're going to grab the background, which we see. We're going to make a new map. Load that map from the array. Set it so we don't collide. Add the back map and the state map state. Well, that seems correct. And then in place state, we just do level loader, not load level. Well, that seems to be in line with what the tutorial wants. The next part of the tutorial is going on about adding the oh, Frank, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Have some hype. Yeah, so Haxe cross-platform programming language. Looks like a general-purpose programming language, but we're actually we're using it with Haxe Flixel to create this 2D platformer. But unfortunately, what's happening at the moment, for some reason, I'm following this tutorial, and when I run the game, you can see we fall straight through the floor, which is a bit weird. In the map editor, we've set the main, which is this is the main layer. I wonder if there's anything layer property, visible locked opacity, horizontal section property, no custom properties. Yeah, I'm slightly confused about what's going on here. So let's just do a comparison of my code again. So play state. Player is a new player. I don't like when this happens because I get confused about what on earth it thinks it's doing. So player looks okay. I don't think there's anything weird about player. I really would like to get this figured out. Okay, so player looks okay. Play state. So play state, which is this here. So we've got a couple of public variables, public member properties, map and player. Then we've got a create function. We create a player. We load the level, add the player, set the camera, run the super constructor of create, and then in update we update here, and then we do the collide. So this should make the player collide with the map, and that's a FLX tile map, and that's a sprite. So that looks fine. And then level loader, tell you what we'll do, I'm going to copy the code here into my function. What I'm going to do is change that to background. So that is exactly the same code. I didn't want to do that, but that is the same code as in Level Loader. So, if I can't figure this out, I'll just take it off stream. I don't want to spend too much. There is still forced straight through. So it's not as if my code is different to the code that comes with the tutorial. Oh, I don't like it when this happens. So you see, that suggests that this shouldn't collide, but we don't set that for state map. We add it to the state at that point. From play state, public variable map of type Flix tile map. And that's my encoded file. The main. And that's the encoded data. There's nothing about being solid or not in there. It seems to be totally handled by the FLX maps. So let's go and look up this on the internet. So Haxe Flixel tile map. So it seems like it's inheriting this solid property from object. Let's have a look at this. Solid. Whether an object collides or not, more control is that. That's not helpful, is it really? So play state. Call this function to see if one Flux object collides with another within the world bounds. Can be called with one object and one group, or two groups, or two objects, whichever floats your boat. For maximum performance, try bundling a lot of objects together using a flex group. Let's try swapping them around and see if it makes any difference whatsoever, which it won't. Does the graphic you're using come with a demo? Yeah, it does come with it, but I think they're licensed separately. Player and the bottom level is not detecting the drawn floor. Yeah, I just don't quite understand why that would be. It should detect this as being solid. It's obviously something bizarre going on. It's one of those ones where, you know, I'll figure it out almost straight away. We'll come off stream and I'll figure it out. That's the pain when you get into this situation, because you get kind of blinded. Nothing to do with main. It's nothing to do with player, because we're going to be changing player in a bit anyway to use the tile editor to place the player in the right place so it doesn't fall. It's in here, isn't it? But I don't quite understand why that collision detection was working fine in our simple map. How do you say it's solid? Well, when we load our level, here we're saying it's not solid. Now I did try saying state.map.solid equals true. It didn't seem to make any difference. We'll try it again. Okay, straight through. And that's what's confusing me, Frank, about it, to be honest, because I didn't have to do an awful lot with the previous code to get it to collide. It just seems to... I'm going to... The other confusing thing is it's actually painting the level graphics fine, isn't it? The pictures are there, so obviously it's drawing. When we add the player here, let's just try one thing. Let's comment that out. We set state dot, save that, and then back in play state, add the map there. Pretty sure it'll make no difference whatsoever, but we'll try it. It's fallen behind it this time. That's interesting, isn't it? It's something to do with the way we're drawing things, isn't it? I'm confused. Newly drawn objects always drawn on top of old ones, which is why the player then fell behind the map, because we drew the player and then the map. But now we're drawing the background, the map, the main layer, and then the player. It's like the player's not on the same layer as the floor, yes. Could it be on layer 0 you have the background layer and floor is layer, yeah, well, the way I think it's the correct order. Because if I swap them round, I say lower layer, then it just disappears, you see, so lower layer. That I think is the correct way round. I'm going to commit that, unlock that. It's interesting. What's it? Oh, that's why. Where's the map? We're not working in object layer. No objects. We're working on layers. Map. Where's map? Offset map. Auto map. Map property. Orientation orthogonal, width, height, infinite, no, tile size, stagger axis, chunk, tile render order is right down, level, background colour not set. And properties, we haven't got any background colours. None of these. Rain brush, eraser, layer properties, visible offset. I don't think it's to do with this editor. I don't. The only thing that's different is that level loader has a whole bunch of imports. Let's drop those imports in. See, that's greyed out, so they're not being used. They're going to be used later, I think. But, time's getting on as well. I don't think that's going to have any effect. Fell through the floor again. Whether the object collides or not, for more control over what direction the object will collide. I think things are solid by default, but we'll try that just in case. No difference whatsoever. Allow collisions. That's the default any. Okay, so that's fine. The default is any of allow collisions. The accessor solid just flips this variable between none and any. This is going to be looks object.any. Level loader. Try again. I'm sure it's going to make no difference whatsoever because we've already said it's straight through. Oh dear. Let's try not adding the back map and see what happens then. Restores force, so it's nothing to do with that then. It does show we're adding things to our scene correctly. Map dot solid. Did I try that already? I can't remember. Can't remember if I tried that already. I'm sure it won't make any difference. Something fundamentally that's not getting. What the weird thing is, the way that it worked before I switched to using that editor. Let me scroll back where we had the collisions working, and all we did was say collide map player. All we did. Let's make this a read-only property. Can't see that making any difference though. think I'm going to have to give up, which is I hate doing on streams. I really do hate giving up on stream. Yes, the level definition. The player falls in front this time, yeah. So this is just graphics. I don't think there's anything magic about this. We've got two layers, one called main, one called background. Level loader definitely populates the state, the play state with our graphics. And I'm definitely here, as you can see, we're multiply setting the collision properties. Yet it doesn't want to know. Main layer. What properties are on main layer? Array. There's nothing about it being solid or not, and the properties of the layer. Just opacity. We create our player. Create him in mid-air, doesn't matter. We'll sort that out next time. Then we create level 1. Passing this in. We try just, I think this is a vain thing, hope, but let's try colliding the player first. But I don't think that's going to make any difference. Yeah. The reason why, in fact, the reason why he was, yes, it's all been built from scratch, and we had a, it's only since I've introduced this level editor that I've had a problem. When we didn't have the level editor in, the collisions were working fine. We were jumping around a little test level. The reason why the player's now falling in front is simply the layering. So this add players the top layer. That's why he's now in front where he was behind before. You want him to be in front. You see, I think here map solid is true. It's just being that's just too late in the process. We've already added the map. To understand why that doesn't work. If this here has a default of any, anyway, so you don't need to do any of that. Back map, load from array. All that's working. shame we haven't got anyone in the stream from Haxe who can advise here, because that is a weird effect. Don't know what to suggest. I know what we'll do. Let's run it again. I don't know if we'll get any information from this at all, but we'll try. We're in debug here. What have we got available to us? So in debug we can do traces. Not really helpful to us. I didn't think. Well, it's as you should know, following tutorials, it can be fraught, can't it? And when you hit problems like this, that other people must have hit this problem. Other people must have hit this problem. Why isn't that causing collisions? Is that actually set to anything? When we create it, map is being set by level loader, isn't it? Okay, let's try something. Well, no, I just don't understand it. Let's try returning Flix tar map. Turn that map. Over here. Like that. So we haven't even got the map at all now. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh, we didn't add it, that's why. That's why. So then we've got the map, and then we go add map. Pardon me. And exactly the same behaviour. Fell through the floor. Why would that be? doesn't need to set solid is true. It should default to true. Player. This is all worked. The player class is fine because it worked and all the animations worked. Compare. That should be like that, I think. That looks alright. Don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's time to give up. Just fall straight to the floor. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, I think, and then I'm gonna try and solve this off stream. I can't see any reason to carry on. Just not getting anywhere with it. So I'm going to find someone to raid, I think. Let's find out that we can go and raid. So we'll pick this up next time. Don't think there's anyone around what to raid. We'll do it. That's interesting. Oh, SourceCoot's going. Let's go and try and raid SourceCoot. So I'll pick this up next time. I think it's easier if I try and solve this off stream because there's something really strange going on. Okay, so we'll go and raid SourceCoot's channel. He's doing some games programming, 3D games programming as well, so that should be fairly interesting. So I'll pick this up again next Monday, and hopefully by then I'll have figured out what silly mistake I've made that I can't see on stream. It's often the way you can't see the problems on stream, so do take care. I'm sorry about the break we had in the stream, but it was my internet provider having problems. So take care everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.